Hi guys, my name is Yeva and today I want to talk to you about how I mastered detachment and how I went from basically being anxious to secure. And we're going to break that down into like 10 steps. So that's our topic for today, and without further ado, let's jump straight into it. A lot of people struggle with detaching themselves from a certain outcome, and they have the tendency to want to control every single situation that they are in. And if they are not capable or able to control that situation, they will become anxious. I have noticed this with a lot of clients that I work with since I'm a mindset coach for women, and I really want to discuss this topic in more detail. If you are attached to someone, and it doesn't matter if that's in your relationship or if that's family or if that's friends or if that's work, it means you are seeking approval from that approval. You will have a negative day, or you'll have a bad day, or you will be anxious or nervous, or you're going to be asking yourself, well, why didn't they think that was a good idea? Or why didn't they approve of it? Or if you share something that you're planning to do in your life and you get like a smirky look or a look of not approval, you might take that extremely personally and get hurt by that. And that shows that their opinion is extremely important to you, and that what they think about the choices that you make in life plays a really big role and influences what you're going to be doing in your life. A lot of the time, people seek validation from other people. And that can become very, very dangerous because they might be doing something because someone expects them to do something and not because they actually want to do it. I've seen a lot of examples of, teenagers or adolescents, when they go into college, they study a certain role just to make their parents happy because they are seeking a form of validation. And then they study that and they end up being not happy with their choice and end up having a career that they don't really like. I've seen that happen multiple times. Or if there is a big occasion happening in their life, like a wedding or something else that might be big, they will seek validation in their choices from their surrounding people. And if that person is occasionally toxic, or if they use that against you, or if they know that you're seeking validation, they might become really negative about it and put you and your choices down. And that is really toxic for you. So obviously asking yourself if there are people in your life that you need validation from, and how they act towards you. Are they toxic? Do they smirk? Do they put you down? And if that is the case, you have to stop asking these people for opinion. And you have to work on detaching yourself from wanting to be validated. And when you master that, then you feel confident and secure. So let's talk about that more. You are detached from someone when you no longer need their approval in order to proceed with something. Your own approval is enough. And that is really a superpower and a great feeling to have. The first thing is you have to understand that you will never be happy. You will never be truly at peace and happy if you are going to seek approval from other people in basically all areas of your life. You do not need other people's approval in order to make certain decisions in your life. You cannot control other people's opinions about what you have decided to do for yourself, because the decisions that you make for yourself based on your needs and on your wants. And a lot of the time, when people give their opinion about something, it is based on their needs and what they think is important. Those things might not be important to you personally at all because you are a different person. So seeking approval and validation from people can be very, very dangerous. You also cannot control people liking you. The third tip is you cannot, or you should stop seeking validation outside of yourself, because you are giving your power away. Essentially, you should be living a life that you enjoy living. If you need a second opinion, or if you're not sure what you should be doing in a certain stage in your life, or if you need a second opinion on something from someone who potentially has already gone through whatever it is that you're going through, that's fine. You ask for their opinion about that. And then depending on what they say, that would either help you make the decision or not. But you should not do something just because someone tells you to do it if that does not align with who you are. The fourth tip is, when it comes down, this is really important. You as a person do not want to be loved because of your performance. You should want to be loved because of the person who you are, or you should be loved for who you are. If you feel like you are not enough, you will start seeking validation from a person. If you feel like you are not doing enough, you will start seeking validation. So if you're seeking validation, and if you are attached to someone to motivate you, to tell you that you're great, if you are seeking that to tell you that you're loved, to get a lot of attention, if you are seeking that, it is potentially because you feel like you are not enough within who you are. And you base your love, or they love you because of the performance that you give. Let me explain. If you, for example, are in a relationship and you're married, you always have a clean house, you always have the best meals, you are always put together, completely put together, you always have the best ideas, you have the best degree, you have the best grades, you have the best job, etc. This is all performance, okay? It's okay to like these things about that person, but essentially you should love the core of that person. And if a person loves you based off of performance, or if a friend or if a family member loves you or your parents because you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, and you have all of these amazing degrees, but you don't feel loved for who you are as a person within you, that will always give you the feeling of you have to perform in order to be loved, because if you don't do that, then you will feel like you are not enough. And I think that is a really important point. So ask yourself, if you're someone who needs validation because you feel like what you have to give is not enough, you have to work on feeling confident, secure, that you are enough, and that will help you be detached from needing validation from other people, because you feel whole within yourself. If you are attached to people and their opinions of you and live based off of that, it means that there is something within you that is telling you that you need this in order to be happy. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need that. So that is a limiting belief that might be happening inside of you. And you need to tell yourself you are enough, and you are good enough, and you're smart enough, no matter what other people might think of you. And tip number 5 is that there is definitely a reason why you feel attached to people. And it can potentially be because you are filling a void from childhood. Maybe you did not get the affection or the love from a parent that you should have gotten. And then you seek approval through the tasks that you do from other people, or through the ideas that you have from other people, because you did not get the approval from your parents, for example. So there is definitely a reason why people, or in this case, women, and I'm talking about women most of the time because I'm a mindset coach for women. So a lot of the time, if the woman does not get approval from her mother or father throughout their childhood, and they feel like they are not good enough, a lot of that they portray onto their partnerships, onto their friendships, onto their teachers. And they always seek approval from other people, and they always chase them, and they're always attached to them. And they need to constantly hear that they are loved, that they're good enough, that they're worthy of being with this person, that they're worthy of having this friendship, etc., because they did not get that approval from their parents. And this is how a lot of people feel. This is how a lot of people, this is the belief that a lot of women have. That's why a lot of partnerships or friendships don't work out. And this is one of the reasons why life seems hard sometimes, or you don't feel good enough and you overcompensate with your looks. There is some form of a void. And working on understanding that you are good enough, no matter how you look, no matter what degree you have, you are good enough within your core, right? And not based on the outside achievements. You're good enough within yourself. Understanding this and accepting this takes time, but only then do you detach yourself from the validation of others, and only then do you feel secure. Tip number 6, I think we're on tip number 6, is basically what I mentioned already. You are whole within yourself, with or without a certain person. If you got engaged and your dad does not agree with the engagement because he's narcissistic, or he has alcohol problems or something, or he doesn't like the groom, or he doesn't think he's good enough, or whatever toxicity there might be, and the groom is good enough, he's a great guy, he's a stable guy, he treats you very well, etc., and your dad just does not approve and talks badly about you and him, that's toxicity, right? And you don't need the validation of this type of person, a very toxic, negative person, as an example, in order to essentially live a happy married life with the groom. And this is something that a lot of women experience, or the partners experience, where the mother says, oh, but she's not good enough for you, etc., etc., etc. And if you feel that this partner is treating you fantastic, they're great for you, or this friend is amazing, they treat you very well, there might be more behind that why your parent might not want you to have that relationship, right? And you don't have to seek validation from them in order to have that friendship or that relationship. When you detach yourself, and this is tip number 7, I think, and I have my notes, so that's why I keep looking at them. When you detach yourself from people or things, the things that you desire within your life, they come more easier to you because you are essentially not chasing that person or that outcome in life. And that is the law of attraction. If you're going to be chasing something in your life, it means that you don't have that thing. You don't have that feeling. For example, you are chasing a certain friendship, right? You really want to be friends with this certain girl. You're chasing her friendship. You're constantly reaching out to her, etc., because you like her, you want to be friends with her, but she is not giving that affection back to you. Ask yourself, why are you doing that? It's because you seek something. You seek a certain feeling. And you have to give that feeling to yourself first before you seek that feeling from others. So if you're seeking a friendship, what are you seeking? Maybe a feeling of security, right? A feeling of acceptance, a feeling of being with someone who's fun, whatever it might be that you're seeking from a friendship. You have to give those things to yourself first. If you're constantly reaching out to someone, to a guy, and you are seeking his love, his affection, you have to give that to yourself first before seeking out to someone else. If you are constantly asking your parents for approval, you have to give that approval to yourself first. You have to validate yourself first. You have to love yourself first within who you are in a humble way. You have to accept yourself first and understand that you don't need to chase certain people. You can communicate with them. You can have a relationship or a friendship with them, but you don't have to run after them in order for them to be with you. That is what it is about. If you detach yourself, if you don't chase approval, it will come to you because you're not lacking approval. And that is the law of attraction. So the law of attraction basically states that what you lack, you don't receive. So if you lack love for yourself, you're not really going to get love. If you constantly chase for approval, you are lacking approval. You're not going to get approval. And it's really important that you understand this. What you lack, you do not get. So you have to figure out what are you lacking in your life and try and give that to yourself as best as you can. Then you will stop chasing that feeling or that person, and then they're going to come to you. So if you're going to chase something, they're going to run away from you, and you're not going to get that validation. And if you give that validation to yourself, then that person or that feeling will be attracted to you. That is the law of attraction. If you're going to say, oh, I never have this, I never have that, then that's all coming from lack. And those things are not going to come to you. But if you try and be grateful for what you have and work on the things that you desire, work towards getting them, then they're going to come to you. But you don't chase. It's a very, very big difference. That has a lot to do with the law of attraction. If you have more questions on that, and if this seems too complicated, then comment down below and then I'll explain in more detail. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel down below by clicking the subscribe button, and make sure you click the bell button as well to be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. So basically, if you're going to be desperate for something, it's not going to come to you. You have to be whole within yourself and give yourself that feeling of whatever it is that you're seeking, and then it's going to come to you. Tip number 8 is, if you detach yourself from having the approval of other people, you are going to be less anxious on a daily basis. Often, people are going to change their opinion. Okay, so if you're seeking approval from someone, if you're attached to someone, or their opinion about you, they might change their opinion later on. So you cannot give other people that much power over you and your life. Tip number 9 is, when you are secure within yourself and confident within yourself, and when you work on that, you automatically attract more security. because you feel more secure within yourself and you feel more confident within yourself because you basically attract what you portray. Okay? So when you validate yourself, feel more confident within yourself, give yourself more love and security, you will be able to detach yourself from other people and from your need for them to validate you. And my last tip is to understand that your opinion is enough. Don't seek validation outside of yourself if you do not want to be disappointed, because you won't get validation 100% all of the time, and you're not always going to hear what you want to hear. And if you're not ready for that, that might really, really hurt your character or hurt you personally. A lot of the time, you simply won't get approval from other people. Even if it might seem like you're doing everything great, they might always find something that they're going to think, no, she could do that better, this could be better, etc. So from some people who are especially perfectionists, you're not going to get approval from them all the time. And seeking that is another reason why seeking approval is really dangerous. Sometimes you're just not going to get it, and you're going to drain yourself out by trying to get it, and it's going to make you depressed. So seeking validation from other people is dangerous, especially if that person is toxic or negative. And when you master that you don't need approval from other people and you can live your life happily as it is, you will feel detached from the opinions of others about you. And you're automatically going to feel more secure within yourself. So I hope that these tips helped you get a better understanding of why validation from other people is not something that you need, maybe gave you more confidence. And if you want me to talk about this in more detail, also let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Also, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that right now. If you like listening to podcasts, make sure you have a listen to mine. It's called the Talks with Yeva podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I also have a Facebook group, which is called the Heaven on Earth Community. Go ahead and join that as well. You'll find the link to all these resources down below as well. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do that. My Instagram is Your Mind is Heaven. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too complicated and that I explained everything well. And if I didn't, comment your questions down below. If you want to get coached by me one-on-one, then you can check out my website as well, which is called yevaberizaitea.com. But you can find that in the description section also, and just reach out to me. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy this video. I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye.